right, I guess. Okay, and yeah, so take it away.
Thank you. All right, guys. There's a few misconceptions about the high net worth market that I do want to talk about, right? And that is that the high net worth market, many advisors are thinking that um, the high net worths are already buying enough insurance from everywhere. The truth is they're not. They've actually got the wrong advisors. They've not got the right advisors. And if you are the right advisor for them, they will work with you. Many advisors also think that you have to spend 5 to 10 years to be able to start working in the high net worth space. That is also not true. I started working in the high net worth space when I was in my mid 20s. So it's not about age as well. It's about being able to have a good conversation with them that would open up that market for you. So the question is, what is the conversation that you're having? The other thing that I want you to learn is that our business is like a heartbeat. And I've heard this, I've said this a million times, but I want you to hear it again, that the small cases keep you alive and the big cases make you rich. Now, your activity is your small cases. Your big cases is what actually helps you get to the next level. But if you're only focusing on big cases and you don't get a big case for a long time, you will die in this market. So you need to have a combination of small cases and big cases. But the volume, the definition of small case should change every year. Every year you need to tell me, Sanjay, this is what my small case will be, this is what my big case will be. So a small case is a case that you can close at least 1 to 2 in a week. A big case is a case that you might close once in a month. Now, the small cases keep you alive, the big cases make you rich. But if every year your small case does not increase and your big case does not increase, you're going to stay at the same level in this business. So every year you need to make sure that the small case and the big cases keep increasing. And to give you the best understanding of this is, imagine a small boy playing with a yo-yo going up an escalator. So the yo-yo might not change, but as you go up the escalator, your case sizes should be increasing. In 2024, my small cases are expected to be $25 million for premium. That's going to be my small case. My large case is about $100 million. Now, if you met me 5 years ago, my large case was 25 million and my small case was 5 million. If you met me 15 years ago, my small case was $500,000, my large cases were 5 to 10 million. If you met me 23 years ago, my small case was any case and my big case was any case. So guys, as time goes on, it's very important for you to increase the size of your cases so that you can grow better in this market. The other thing is understanding that there are many hidden markets that are waiting to be explored. I'm working with this one family that I just recently met, and they've never believed in buying insurance. It's a very wealthy family. They have never purchased any life insurance whatsoever. And when I sat with them, in my first meeting, I was able to close $100 million of sum assured. Now, why am I sharing this with you? A family that never believed in buying life insurance today suddenly has bought a $100 million life insurance policy. And the reason was specifically the conversation that I had with them. So if you have the right conversations and you're able to position your product correctly, it's not difficult for you to close big deals. Guys, I want you to understand that the market is way bigger than you think. There is no lack of clients or prospects. What really is stopping you from getting to the next level is having the right conversation. So if you're not having the right conversations, that's the purpose, and that's actually the reason why you're not being able to get to the next level. And I want to be very, very clear about that. I want all of you all to also spend some time to know your products very well. One of the biggest mistakes that I have seen in the market is a lot of advisors don't know their own products very well. Their clients know their products more than you. Guys, can you imagine going to a doctor where you know more about the medicine than the doctor? You can't build that trust. So, I want all of you as advisors to spend more time to study your products. Spend more time to learn exactly what your products were designed for. And if you're not sure, speak to your training department. Guys, the world is very, very large. There's a lot of money in the world, and if you are not taking it, somebody else is. And for those of you who have not done well in 2023, get over it. 2023 is over. 6 days ago, we all started with zero. If you haven't done well in 2023, it's done. Move on. There's nothing for you to bother about. Don't waste your time crying over 2023 being a bad year. 2024 has already started. Spend your time on your business now. That's the most important thing. Your biggest asset is your time. And if you're not using your time correctly, you're losing out on the biggest return you can get, right? I do want to tell you something that is not going to work in 2024. A lot of advisors are spending too much time on social media branding. Guys, I want you to understand that high net worth clients are not looking for financial advisors on social media. If it really worked, I would be probably doing it more than anyone else. It doesn't work. What truly works is having good conversations with people. We have to agree on one thing today, that I'm probably the biggest advisor on social media, but I don't get a single client from my social media channels because I realized when a financial advisor builds content on social media, it gets copied by other financial advisors. It doesn't get read by clients. And that's when I realized clients are not looking for me online. Clients are truly I'm looking for clients every day, even today. Till today, I still make my calls. I go and still find people. I go and do prospecting. I go to trade shows. I go to conferences. I go to exhibitions. I go to many different places to network and to find the right clients for myself. How many of you spend time in going to a trade show? Not an industry trade show of ours, but an industry trade show of other industries like oil and gas, internal auditors. How many of you go to trade shows where there's new energy, there's cosmetics, there is pharmaceuticals, there is medical services, medical equipment, there's IT services. There are so many different types of trade shows. How many of you spend time to go to a trade show and meet with different business owners? There are so many business owners that are sitting in those trade shows. The question is, how many of you go into and have those conversations? If you're truly a good advisor, and if I had to tell you to focus on one thing, I want you to focus on building the right strategies. I want every single one of you to have at least double of what you did in 2023. Could you be kind enough to tell me how many of you are new advisors? When I say new advisors, I would say you've been in the business less than 1 year. Could you just tell me if you are a new advisor? And could you also tell me how many of you have been in the business between 5 to 10 years? Nine months, 3 months? All right, guys, for all those of you who are new advisors, right? I'm newer than the iPhone 15. Thanks a lot. All right. For all those of you who have been in the business, who are new in this business, As a new advisor, your prospecting is actually not your problem because you actually have all your friends to go and have a conversation with. What I would tell you is if you're a new advisor, one of the most important things is conversations. What should be your conversation? What is the presentation that you will focus on? Forget about the products, focus on the right conversation and the right presentations. Because if you're not doing the right presentations, if you're not having good conversations with people, you will lose opportunities, right? What is a conversation? Heidi, a conversation is basically when you meet someone for the first time or you meet someone after a long time, we always end up starting with, "Hi, how are you?" When you say, "Hi, how are you?" there's only one answer that almost everyone gives: "I'm fine." I want you to stop saying the words "I'm fine" because it is the truth, it's the biggest lie in the world. Nobody is fine. The two biggest lies in the world. Number one is when someone asks you, "How are you?" "I'm fine." The second biggest lie in the world is, "I've read all the terms and conditions." So stop saying "I'm fine." Instead, that is your opportunity to do a presentation. When someone asks you, "How are you?" tell them, "I'm so good. Last week," and share a presentation, share a story. So one of my favorite stories that I love to share, and some of you might have heard it, but for those of you who haven't heard this, let me share it with you. When someone asks me, "Sanjay, how are you?" I always tell them, "I'm so good. Last week, I met with this lady. She's probably one of the smartest women I ever met. And she said, 'Sanjay, I figured out everything in my life. I know exactly what to do with my business. I know exactly how to grow my business. I know everything about my business. But Sanjay, I have one fear. What if I make a mistake?'" And that's when I realized that she got scared of making mistakes. So I said, "Why are you scared?" She said, "Sanjay, what if I make a mistake?" And I said, "Listen, you need to stop being scared of making mistakes. You are very, very smart. There's no reason for you to not be successful. So you focus on what you do best, which is focusing on your business. But you know what you should do? Do what some of the wealthiest families do. They take 20% of their profits and they keep it aside. And every time they have a new business idea, they have a new marketing strategy, they have a new product, they would use some of this money to help them grow this business. And this fund is called the growth fund. So they take 20% of whatever they earn and they put it aside into a fund called the growth fund. Because every time they have a new business idea, a new strategy, a new idea, they should be able to have funds to be able to try those. So every top business family will actually do that. And when I gave her that advice, I could see how relaxed she was and I could see how confident she became. So I had the most amazing week. There, my presentation is already done. You see, when we joined this business, we were told to self-fear. I remember when I joined this business 23 years ago, everyone told me, my trainers, they would tell me, "Sanjay, ask your clients, what happens if you die? What happens if you fall sick?" I want all of you all to think about this. Who's looking forward to dying? Who's looking forward to falling sick? Who is interested in answering that question? Guys, I want you to stop doing that. Fear might sell fast, but happiness will always sell big. I want you to remember this. Fear sells fast, happiness sells big. Think about it. We always buy a house bigger than we can afford. Why is that? Because it makes us happy. We always buy a car bigger than we can afford. Why? Because it makes us happy. We always buy something that we like more because it makes us happy. Guys, I want every single one of you to understand something very important. When we are happy, we spend more money. When we are scared, we actually spend less money. So I do want to invite my mentees to come in. I want them to share their ideas as well. Guys, do turn on your cameras. Marlon, Mauricio, Kaka, Meteor. There we are. All right. Give me a second. All right. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, brother.
Hi, Dr. Sanjay. Good.
All right. It's very early in the morning for Marlon. I know that. But Marlon loves to wear his Nigerian cap. So I love that about him,
Well,
right? He always gets
uh,
his Nigerian cap on. Guys, a little background. Meteor is a specialist with Meteor is probably one of the most hardworking advisors that I know of. The amount of cases she does even outshines mine. So, Meteor, congratulations on that. There is no doubt on the fact that she does a lot more cases than anyone else that I know. I'm extremely proud of what she does. So I did want everyone to know that. Kaka has been working in the business for a few years now, and in these few years, she's done a TOT as well as she's been a working mom, and she was taking care of a baby while she was doing her TOT. So, congratulations to Kaka on that. Mauricio has been busy shifting countries. So Mauricio currently, well, is from Mexico, but is now moving countries into Spain, and he's been doing a lot of work into Europe. And I wanted Mauricio to spend a few minutes talking about his business. Marlon and I go back many years. So Marlon and I have been friends for a long time, and uh, over the years that I've known Marlon, I've seen how hard he works. And what I love about Marlon's strategy is when you actually land into Trinidad and Tobago, you will actually see a banner of Marlon saying, "Welcome to Marlon Town." I thought that was absolutely funny and it was crazy, but it's brilliant. Welcome to Marlon Town. Um, it's always nice to get other people's advice and other people's perspectives. So, guys, I do want to ask some questions, right? Meteor, what's your plan for 2024? I mean, there are a lot of people who did not do very well in 2023. Uh, what's the one thing that they should look at that will help them get going again in 2024?
Well, I believe in our industry is definitely activities, meeting more people, regardless is it cold, is it warm, is it by recommendation. Activities is the most important thing.
So, guys, I think Meteor is emphasizing exactly what I just said a few minutes ago, which is you need to have activities. If you don't have activities, 2024 will become 2023 again. So if you really want to make a change in 2024, it is your activity. Meteor, a rude question. How many meetings do you have in a day?
Usually at least about 4 to 5. At
4 to
least.
5 meetings a day. At
Yeah.
least. Guys, I want you to
Yeah.
hear the word that she said is at least 4 to 5. So usually when I meet advisors, they tell me they're having 4 to 5 meetings in a week. Meteor is at least having 4 to 5 meetings in a day, right? And I want you to understand that activities is very important. Marlon, what's one advice that you give to someone that has not done well in 2023, and what should they be doing in 2024?
Well, good morning to you again, brother. Good to see you. Special welcome to everyone on the panel and all my colleagues from around the world. So a special welcome from beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the thing is that I believe that every January brings dreams, right? And every December brings reality. So it's not just about plans. You have to have a planning process. Now, I'm humble enough to admit that I prepare as if I have zero talent. I prepare as if I have zero talent. So in that way, when I'm in front of a prospect, my confidence is through the roof. So as a former athlete, lining up against persons on the line, everybody's fast, you know. Everybody has talent. So it's not always the winner is not always the one that works the hardest. The winner is always the one that works the hardest and plans properly. So I would say if you want your outcome to be different in December of 2024, for me, my planning process started at least a month ago. So I've been engaging persons at least for the past month.
I love what you just said, Marlon. January brings dreams and December brings reality. Very powerful words. Thank you for sharing that, because you're right. January does bring dreams and December does bring reality. We all had a reality check last month when we got to know exactly how far or near we were to our target. And January is a month of dreams because it allows us to know exactly what we want to do going forward. So I love those words that you just said. And I love the way that you bring in the analogy of athletics, that when you are going into the Olympics, right? Everyone that's lining up for that race are fast, right? Everyone that is competing in the Olympics are the best of the best. And we already know that they're all very fast runners, but still only one of them gets the gold, and only one of them gets the silver, and only one of them gets the bronze. Even though we know everyone is a fast runner, we still know that there's something that's missing. They all are hard workers. There is no doubt in that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in that race. So you did say one thing very important is that everyone has to be hardworking. The difference between number one and number two is that number two, that they work hard, but they also have a plan. So it's not just about being hardworking, it's also about having the right plan and strategy in place. I remember watching a video of Usain Bolt the other day where he came very bad in terms of his results 4 years prior to him setting the world record of the fastest man on earth. He was the same guy, but 4 years prior, he didn't even win a medal. He was not even a medalist 4 years prior to setting the world record. What changed in those 4 years? It was hard work, but everyone was working hard, because if you want to compete in the Olympics, you have to work hard. And I call MDRT the Olympics of our business. Everyone that's an MDRT member, right, is one of the top advisors in the world. The question is, how do you outshine someone that is already so good, right? So every single one of us are Olympic champions. We all are Olympic athletes, because all of us have been MDRT members for a long time. The question is, how do we push ourselves to becoming better every year? And so thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
What is the one trend that you're seeing that will change? What is one of the trends that you're seeing in Malaysia that you're going to see in terms of clients in 2024?
I think the trend is that I think the understanding about insurance, I think nowadays people start to understand that the differences between like medical insurance and critical illness coverage. And to be honest, I think recently I did something which is, I think, very meaningful, because I think I've been in the business for 8 years, actually 7 years, 7 to 8 years. So I think last year, it was one of the times that I did a very large claim for critical illness. Yeah. So when I actually share with my client about the claims, and to be honest, the feeling was amazing. It was really very fulfilled and contented and satisfied. Even it feels better than you getting a Chanel bag kind of feeling. As a woman, you know, right? For me, it's like, wow. I mean, like, I think this reality shows me that the importance of us being a insurance advisor. And I told my client, I said, babe, you remember you took up this plan 4 years ago from me, and all your friends told you that don't need to buy so much critical illness coverage because you do not need to have so much. But now, back to the reality, when critical illness hit you, who give you money the most? Is there anyone in your circle give you 20,000 ringgit? No, not even 20,000. 2,000 ringgit also nobody give her. But me as the insurance advisor, I'm actually able to give her 2 million of critical illness coverage. And that's something that I feel that, wow, this is so great. It's like just a one meeting with her, I'm able to make such a big impact in her life, for not only for her, but for the children, probably for maybe 2 generations. If let's say she passed on, at least the children will not suffer financially. Yeah, so I feel the trend is that a lot of people start to understand that the differences between critical illness coverage and also medical card. And I truly believe that I want to reach out to more people and create this kind of awareness. I'm so happy. I think I really want to share this with you as my mentor, because give me a purpose in life.
I'm glad you share this, because one of the things that I've realized is a lot of people misunderstand our products. For example, they don't understand the difference between critical illness and health insurance. They think health insurance and critical illness are the same thing. Guys, health insurance was designed to protect doctors because somebody has to pay the medical bill. And if the doctors don't get paid, that's what health insurance was designed for. You have to always remember, whoever is the beneficiary of the money is who you are protecting. Whoever is the beneficiary of the money is who you are protecting. Health insurance protects the doctor. Mortgage insurance protects the bank. Critical illness insurance protects you. You are the beneficiary of that money, not a third party. Health insurance, the doctor is the beneficiary. Mortgage insurance, the bank is the beneficiary. Critical illness, you are the beneficiary. Whoever is the beneficiary is who you are protecting. And once you understand this, you will understand who do you really want to protect. And I wish a lot of people understood that insurance as a product was designed to protect beneficiaries, not the insured. Right? So I'm glad you share that. But Meteor, what's the one trend that you think is happening that you see around you in Singapore? What's the one trend that you see in 2024 happening in Singapore for you?
Well, in terms of for financial consultant, I see that people are moving towards a big case, and I think that to do big case definitely need a lot of knowledge, which is what I'm learning from you. So this is where I think for financial consultant, this is where we should be moving towards as well. So yeah, so this is how I feel.
So Meteor, one of the things that Meteor just mentioned, which is very important, is if you want to do big cases, there's a lot of knowledge that you need to acquire. When I say the word knowledge, it's about being able to hold your ground, because high net worth clients are very sharp. They can be very, I would say, condescending sometimes, right? They might try to put you down. And if you don't have the right knowledge to hold yourself, there's a very high probability that you will lose that business. So Meteor is absolutely correct when she says that if we are moving towards bigger cases, you need to start investing into learning something new, being able to hold conversation. And sometimes I feel it's sad that we have to wait for a claim to come to understand the value of insurance. And the problem with insurance is a product that can only be purchased when you don't need it, because when you need it, it's not available. And that's the reality. Mauricio, what's the one trend that you're seeing in 2024 in Mexico and Spain? Now that you're in two different countries, I'm going to ask you for both the countries. What's the one trend that you're seeing in 2024 in Mexico and Spain?
Yeah, well, now that you mentioned that the asset structuring plan for 2024 in Spain, different to Mexico, they have inheritance taxes, a lot of inheritance taxes. So nobody has, actually, I had a case last week. I was speaking with this friend. She's a very socialité women here in Spain. So she inherited one apartment from her auntie. So she was telling me, Mauricio, you cannot imagine how much money I will have to pay in order to receive that asset. And hopefully, I just got a very bad divorce, but the husband gave her some cash. Well, very much cash. So fortunately, she had the cash to pay to acquire that inheritance building. But I told her, imagine in the future when you pass away, your children will inherit all the assets that you have. Why don't we plan on having a structure when you pass away, your children will have the money to acquire those assets and not having to sell them. So yeah, that's in Spain. Nobody.
Sure, you're very right, because, very interesting thing that's happened. A lot of people don't realize that inheritance tax has to be paid before you inherit any assets. You have to actually pay to inherit. And if you don't have the money, you are not able to inherit assets otherwise. And it's a very sad situation where a lot of families that I work with, I'm actually currently working with a similar family in the UK. They have 100 million pounds worth of real estate, right? And in the UK, you have approximately a 40% inheritance tax liability. So they've got 40 million pounds that they have to pay to the UK government to be able to, for the next generation to inherit those assets. Now, where are they going to get that liquidity from? So you're absolutely correct, Mauricio. A lot of people don't understand that taxes will be a part of our future. If your country doesn't have this tax, doesn't mean it's not coming. Get ready, it will come. It's only a matter of when. We are going to see inheritance taxes globally. I mean, this is a prediction. This is my opinion. It's not a fact, but it is definitely my opinion, and also a prediction of mine that I truly believe that inheritance tax globally will increase. I truly believe capital gains tax globally will increase. And I truly believe income tax globally will increase. I truly believe it. And there is only one product that can actually help you take care of those taxes, and that is insurance. So I truly believe that that's one major trend that we're going to see is increases in taxes. If it doesn't happen 2024, it will happen 25, 26, or 27. So we should definitely keep a lookout for that. Guys, how do you do your prospecting? So I want to know, Marlon, how do you do your prospecting, if you don't mind me asking that question?
Well, Dr. Sanjay, I have two lists that I've been working on for a while. One is having the courage to make sure that I work with what I consider my ideal client profile. And then I have a separate list that I'm running in terms of centers of influences that I want to, persons that I would like to work with and vice versa. And, because I'm working specifically on the introductory part of it, because that's just more powerful. And I think with that, it allows me to be more intentional. So which means I'm not missing opportunities that I probably would have missed before. So because of that, I'm now looking at Facebook posts, I'm looking at persons' LinkedIn posts, I'm looking at stuff that, sometimes people post a lot what's on their hearts and minds, and it opens up a lot of opportunities in terms of if I want to work with them or not. But I would say my main source
I like what you've done. I like what you've done is you've set up two lists. One is your ideal client, and the second one is your COIs, your centers of influence. And I think every advisor should have these two lists. So it doesn't matter whether you're a new advisor, an old advisor, it doesn't matter. You should be having these two lists. The first list is your ideal clients. Who would you truly like to work with? It's not necessary that you have access to them, but you should know that these are the clients that you are truly trying to work towards. The second is a list of centers of influence, people who can introduce you to different types of clients. Guys, your center of influence will keep changing. 23 years ago, my centers of influence versus my centers of influence today are very, very different. I have a whole network of COIs that recommend and introduce me to clients. And if you don't have a center of influence, you don't have people introducing you to people, there's something wrong with your positioning. So your positioning is incorrect, right? So make sure that you have these two lists, whether you're a new advisor or an old advisor, it doesn't matter. Have these two lists. These are two very, very important lists, your centers of influence and your ideal clients. When I say the word ideal clients, these are clients that you want to have as clients, but you might not have access to. You might have, you might not have, it doesn't matter. But that should be your list. And sometimes you should tell your center of influence, I'm trying to get in touch with this person. Do you know how to get in touch with this person? They might already be able to get you in touch. You see, guys, we live in a world of networks. Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, right? So it's very easy to get in touch with people if you actually put it out there that this is someone that I want to meet. There are people who will help you meet those people. Ask and you shall be rewarded. You don't ask, nobody's going to be able to guess who you would like to meet. Our clients, our friends don't know who we would like to meet and have as our potential clients. So guys, do write down this list. It could be possible. Sometimes share it with your team, sometimes share it with your colleagues. It is possible we might know each other's centers of influence, or we might know each other's ideal clients. And maybe we don't have to compete on that deal. We might be able to work on it together. See, guys, it's not only about trying to do everything yourself. Sometimes it's about collaborative work. We can collaborate to do business together. We can collaborate to have similar contacts. There might be a client that I like to work with. Unfortunately, I don't have the product. If doctors can collaborate, lawyers can collaborate, accountants can collaborate, why can't financial advisors? There are multiple doctors that get involved on a surgery. There are multiple lawyers that get involved with a court case. There are multiple accountants that get involved with a multinational business. If that can happen in every other professional industry, why can't we as financial advisors also learn to collaborate? Right? So thank you, Marlon, for sharing that. Appreciate that. Kaka, what's your prospecting strategy for 2024?
Okay, actually for the past 7 years, right, I always do prospecting. I go to a lot of events. I go to a lot of networking events. I always focus on potential prospect and potential client. But I felt that actually it's very tiring. So actually last year I started changing my way of prospecting, because like for me, right, I always hate first week of January. The reason why is that, you know, our projections refresh, start becomes zero again. So there's the times that you have to think of a way of prospecting, because you have to start, you know, get all your name list and you have to start reaching out to people. So you get a lot of stress, you know. And also because I'm a mother of two, so I also need to be very efficient. So what I did actually last year was, instead of focus on potential client or potential prospect, I focus a lot on my COI and collaboration. So I keep meeting my COI very frequent, could be like once a week, you know, once in 2 weeks, or like alternate days. And I keep actually asking them that, how do you actually promote me? And how do you actually recommend the people around me? It's like, do you know what kind of clients that I would love to work with? I actually keep reminding them about, how do you introduce me to your circle of friends? Because by doing so, right, I feel that the recommendation come very fast. And those people who actually come and reach out to me is already confirmed buying the product. It's just that the matter of when and how much. So I feel that is, you know, like filter all the sales process, like you don't need to actually teach them about the importance of insurance, because they know that it's important, but it's just that they're looking for the right person to work with. And I always teach my COI is that you share with them, why do you need to work with Kaka? And because Kaka will actually give you this kind of explanation, benefits, and how committed she is, how professional she is, how knowledgeable she is. So I keep actually talking to my COI, and please, I want to know, how to introduce me to the people around you. Because sometimes, right, if you don't keep teaching them, they tend to promote me wrongly. It's like, oh, if you need insurance, you look for Kaka, which is, I don't like it. But you should share with them, if you need insurance planning, why do you need to work with Kaka?
Yeah, I like that one. If you need insurance, look for Kaka. We don't want that. Meteor, tell me something. Meteor, okay, so I do want everyone to know this, right? Meteor is a specialist in cases, but she also gets a lot of leads through online lead generation guys. I know she gets very tired. She keeps saying that. She gets tired doing
Yeah.
So 2024 is going to be a big change for her, because she is making a decision to make a change. Is that what exactly is the change that you're trying to do in 2024, Meteor?
So I've been working on passive referral for the last 13 years and co-market for the last 13 years. And it's really tiring, because I'm doing a lot of meeting, but the cases that I'm closing, it's probably just an accident plan, a hospital plan. So I can work for the whole day, and I probably take like 1,000 annual premium in a day. That's all. So because that's how co-market works. So I'm trying to switch my co-market more to networking, and through networking, because that's where I realize networking is the place that I actually meet bigger net worth, higher net worth people, more higher income, I would say, from networking events. The problem that I have is I've been doing cold market for so long. When I meet these people, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about because it's a networking event. It's face to face. They are friends. I don't know what to do. So I'm learning, and I'm learning from Dr. Sanjay, definitely. Yeah.
I do want to mention something that happened with Meteor about a week ago when a fellow advisor actually tried to get an appointment with Meteor, positioning himself as a client so that he can so that he can actually find out what is Meteor's pitch when she meets someone new, right? Can you imagine that we've got financial advisors who are basically hiding themselves just so that they can learn what Meteor says to a potential client? Guys, if you want to learn what Meteor says, ask her directly instead of wasting her time. It's not just Meteor, but guys, if you're positioning yourself to be a client to another advisor just to find out what they say to their clients, etc., don't do that. Just reach out to them. It's easier, it's more ethical. Don't waste her time. She is very busy. She has been in the cold market a long time. And this advisor basically just wasted her time, wasted 3 times where she had to call this advisor, and only to find out that he's actually an advisor, right? Guys, don't do that. It's very unprofessional, it's very unethical, and it's just wrong, right? It's mean because Kira's got a very busy schedule and she wants to obviously spend her time with her clients rather than other advisors. Guys, we're not trainers. We all are professionals in this business. If you want to learn from somebody, you want to learn something, ask them directly instead of trying to position yourself as a client, right? Guys, we are all willing to teach. As long as you're willing to learn, we are all willing to teach. Mauricio, what's your prospecting strategy for 2024?
Well, I've thought about that, and I realized that I will talk only with people that I know, because I already know a lot of people, and I've been working in the financial industry for like more than 25 years. So I've met a lot of people, and even if in the past I might have not positioned myself the right way, I think that there's always a second chance. So that's my strategy. I will talk and call and have conversations with all the people that I know and reposition myself as what we are. We're financial advisors, we're family officers. So that will be the path.
Mauricio, I love what you just said. So guys, Mauricio has been in the business 25 plus years. Now, for everyone that's been in the business a long time, we might have positioned ourselves incorrectly in the past. It is time to make that change. If you feel you have positioned yourself incorrectly, we all have a second chance to reposition ourselves. So if you are even focusing on people that you know, sometimes it's important that you can just reposition yourself. Don't get scared about what people know you of in the past. You can actually reposition yourself. We can always get a second chance. Mauricio, there's one question that I really want to ask you specifically, right? When you approach a high net worth client, you always find that they've got assets, they've got liquidity, they've got their bank accounts, they've probably got their life sorted out for themselves, their children, and even probably up to their grandchildren. So how do you position insurance as a product for them? Or rather, how do you position yourself, and what advice do you give to these kind of clients?
I'm very glad you asked that, because actually, I guess those who are entering the high net worth market will find out that whenever they talk to anyone, they'll say like, I don't need insurance, I have plenty of wealth. So what I have changed my mind, because I come from the banking industry, I come from private banking, and you always are competing with interest rates or products or results. So the one advantage insurance gives us as advisors is that you can offer any type of clients, even the biggest clients, something that in the financial industry cannot get, which is a guaranteed source of income. Because when you take a portfolio, when you take an asset, when you have even a building, if you're planning to live on the rentals, for instance, when COVID hit, a lot of people got to rearrange or reestablish their agreements with the tenants, okay? So I always tell them, I understand that you have a lot of assets. I understand that you have properties. I understand that you have a portfolio. What I do is I work with the families that I work with to convert variable sources of income in guaranteed sources of income. And they always are like, yeah, how would you do that? And I said, okay, just whenever, if you want, we can talk and we can go deeper. So that transfer between asset management to income management is what gave me the easiest entrance in the high net worth space.
Yeah, Mauricio, I actually agree with you because you see, when I joined the financial planning business, we were always told to focus on asset accumulation, asset preservation, and asset distribution. And I think we've got financial planning completely wrong because it is not about asset accumulation, it's about income accumulation. We all want more and more income. So it's about income accumulation, it's about income preservation. Whatever income I have, I don't want to lose that income. And it's about income distribution. What do I really want to give my children? Do I want to give them assets or do I want to give them an income? And over the last 23 years, when I started this business, I was always talking about asset accumulation, asset preservation, asset distribution. And I realized I got it wrong. And I'm very open to say this, that I got it wrong. Today, I know the correct strategy is income accumulation, income preservation, and income distribution. Because if you think about it, income preservation, there's only one product in the world that helps you preserve your future income, and that is life insurance. There is no other product that preserves future income, right? So I'm glad you say that because a lot of people don't understand the difference between asset management and income management. Having income and making sure that the income doesn't disappear, that is the key to financial planning. Guys, one last question to all of you before we call it a day. So I'm going to go with each one of you. I'll start with Marlon. Give one piece of advice to an advisor that's looking at 2024 in terms of what they should be doing to plan. So what's that you said January is the dream month. What's the dream that everyone should have for 2024?
I would say liquidity, especially in the next couple of weeks before January's pay, and I'll tell you why. One particular guy that I used to work out with, his WhatsApp status indicated that the longest month of the year is between December's paycheck and January's paycheck. So I gave him a call and he was telling me about all the stuff he has to do, plus all the gifts he has to buy and so forth. And he only has one paycheck and he's looking forward. He can't wait to be paid in January. So I related with him. I told him, well, when I first got married in my first couple of years, my wife's birthday is the 9th of December. My dad's birthday is the 21st. My mom's birthday is Christmas Day. My anniversary is the 28th. I'm overwhelmed now. So I had to create a way to pay myself a couple more times in December, because if I have to be looking forward to January's paycheck, I'm going to lose a whole month of planning. There's no way I could really get into the flow of the year if I have to be thinking about being paid in January. So after this meeting, I'm going to meet with him to discuss some endowment options so that he could also pay himself a couple more times in December. And I realized that being a trend with a lot of professionals and even a lot of my colleagues as well. So that's one thing. So it's going to hit hard between now and January's paycheck, because everybody's thinking about January's paycheck. But I don't want to be thinking about January's paycheck. I'm going to lose a whole month of planning. So I can't afford to do that. And then the next thing is that I also paid attention to the tax code that changed recently on January 1st in Trinidad, where schools, both public and private, could receive up to $500,000 from businesses and businessmen are now able to write that off as part of their tax planning. So for the first 2 weeks, I'm going to work on liquidity. And then after that, I'm going to work on charitable donations. at least for the next couple of months. So that if
Wow.
that's a tax
So they
code
can
that would have
receive-
changed, take advantage of that.
So schools can receive donations from business owners in Trinidad, which would be a tax write-off.
Up to 500,000, which is insane.
Wow. Wow. That's a huge, huge potential business that you could put together.
Absolutely. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that again. Looking forward to that.
Guys,
As a matter of fact, I have a couple
I do
principles
want
that I'm dealing with next week.
Yeah, and everyone that's watching into this, I want you to keep an eye on the tax code, because every time there's a tax code change, there is a purpose and the government does it for a reason. It's about understanding what that reason is, and you can see how insurance could fit in as a potential way to actually do that. So, wow, that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, Marlon.
You're welcome.
Meteor, what's the dream that you would want everyone to have for 2024?
What's the dream that I want everyone to have? That is to
Yes.
clearly know what their target is, why do they want to achieve it, and how they should achieve it. Because I have a dream last year, which is to repeat my TOT, and I didn't make it because I believe I'm doing the same old thing that I've been doing for the last few years. When we are doing the same thing, we don't make any changes. So I think a very good plan is required in order to change. So yeah, I think people have to clearly know their dream and how to achieve it. It's very important.
Guys, it takes a lot of courage to come up online and say this, that I had a target of doing TOT, but I didn't achieve it. And the reason is because I was doing the same thing over and over again. It takes a lot of courage to say that's a mistake that I made. One of the biggest mistakes that we all make is not having the courage to accept that we're making a mistake. And I'm glad Meteor is able to take on that courage and say that to everybody, that I wish I made a change, because I've been doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you truly want to have a dream, you need to know what's your target and why have you set that target and how you're going to achieve it. So thanks for sharing that, Meteor. Mauricio, what's your last few words for anyone that's listening in? What should be their dream for 2024?
I guess there's a lot of people there who is beginning in the financial advisory career. So a lot of people in your companies will tell you a lot of things and will maybe tell you that fear sells fast, but no one will tell you that happiness sells big. So I would rather, or what I did when I need a change in my career in the financial insurance career, was to see a lot of videos of Sanjay. Actually, that changed dramatically my case size and my view of the industry. There's a lot of content there. If you're a little lost and you don't know what to tell your clients or your prospects, please use all the information that Sanjay has been posting for the several years now, and get a map. Get a roadmap to where you're trying to go. Go, if you want, step by step. There's a lot of information there from Sanjay. If there was no Sanjay there, we wouldn't have a roadmap. So I would advise that to new players.
You're too kind to say that, Mauricio. Guys, I didn't pay Mauricio to say that, by the way. But thank you, Mauricio, for sharing those words. Like I said, guys, there are a lot of advisors out there that are doing very well. If you want to learn from anybody, ask for it. They will share. I love to share what I do. I put it up online as fast as I can, but there's only so much time that I have in a day, because I am also actively selling still. I'm a full-time financial advisor. I do not recruit. So guys, I truly don't have any good advice on recruitment. But I'm a specialist purely with assets. I know how to structure assets very well. I collaborate with advisors. I collaborate with a lot of COIs. I have a lot of COIs that I work with, a lot of bankers, lawyers, accountants that work through me. And Mauricio is very kind to say this, but I truly do like to share my strategy with everyone. If you want, you're more than welcome to copy my strategies. use them. Where I can be of assistance, let me know. I do like to share what I do, and that's what Meteor, Mauricio, Kaka, and Marlon are here for. They are also willing to share, and that's one of the things that we have put in the mentoring program is if there is someone who's doing something well, I would want them to share that with everybody. So, Kaka, what's your final words for everyone that's listening in? What's the one advice that you would give for anyone that's trying to set the right target for 2024? What should be their dream for 2024?
So if you really want to achieve your target, try to be very creative in advising your client. And I totally agree with Mauricio. It's like, I think really Sanjay has a lot of creative idea that we have actually learned over the years. And true enough that I actually joined the mentorship since the day that before I qualify MDRT to COT and to TOT. So I really regret that. I'm really, very grateful to have a mentor, like him that can actually give us so many ideas, creative ideas to actually learn. And with a creative idea, we will be able to achieve our goal and try to be as creative as possible and make sure that we can clear our goal in 2024. But there's one actually Sanjay I would like to share because Chinese New Year is coming, right? I think there's one idea that I did last year and actually it works well. So probably I could be actually sharing with all of you. During Chinese New Year, kids always get ang pao, right? Get the red packets and they have a lot of money. You'll be surprised at the amount of money they have. So sometimes I take this opportunity to reach out to the parents. I will ask this question. When your kids receive this ang pao, what are you going to do with the ang pao's money? Then they say, they will just buy things that they like. Then I ask the parents, do you think, is it they like or they need? So no, they don't need it, they like it. Actually, they just buy things that they don't need it and such a waste of money. But what to do is ang pao money, just let them spend. So I take this opportunity, rather than you buy something with that kind of money for the things that not necessary or things that they don't need, why not you actually pass it to me and let me create a pool of plan or structure for you that will be able to create a guarantee income for the next 40 years for your children in the future.
I've loved that strategy. For those of you who don't know this, but during Chinese New Year, because there are a lot of people who are attending who are not Chinese, let me give you a little background. In the Chinese culture, during Chinese New Year, which is in the month of February this year, a lot of older people would give the children in the house something that they call ang pao. It's a red packet where they put money into that red packet and they would give it to them as blessings. Now, they receive a lot of blessings from a lot of people, and they would probably be receiving quite a lot of money. That money usually gets spent on very frivolous things. It actually gets spent on things that nobody needs, including the children themselves. But because they have access to that money, they just end up spending it on absolute rubbish sometimes. And one thing that I have realized is during Chinese New Year, it's a very big opportunity to sit down with some of the elders and tell them, instead of giving ang paos to them directly, why don't you give them an insurance policy that gives them guaranteed income? And that income can be used for many other things. So why don't you guide them what they should do with that money rather than just give them money? And this is the same thing that we do when we do a family office management. It's not just about passing on wealth. It's also about passing on the knowledge on what to do with that wealth. That is very, very important. If you pass on wealth, but without the knowledge of what to do with that wealth, the wealth will disappear. If you pass on the knowledge, but you don't pass on the wealth, the knowledge will also disappear because they cannot do anything with that knowledge. So you need to pass on both wealth and knowledge of what to do with money to make it very, very effective. So thank you very much for sharing that, Kaka. Appreciate that.
And can speak to the grandparents also, the parents and the grandparents.
Oh, yeah. Yes, grandparents love to do that. Grandparents love to leave gifts for grandkids.
Give ang pao a lot of money, yeah. Give them
a lot of ang paos. Yeah. I've seen that big $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that has just been given.
And put under annuity and endowment, it will be more meaningful to the grandchildren.
It would be. In the future, it would be, yes. So guys, thank you very much for sharing your time. And I know that you guys are all busy, but you've taken time out of your schedule to come and share with everyone. And I truly appreciate that. So Meteor from Singapore, Kaka from Kuala Lumpur, Mauricio is from Spain and Mexico, and Marlon from the beautiful Trinidad and Tobago, or as I would call it, Marlon Town. Guys, really, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. I truly appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone that's heard you speak can see how genuine you are as advisors. And like I said, guys, MDRT is the Olympics of our business, and all five of us are MDRT members. And I do want you to understand that we all work hard. We all have a different speed of working, but we all are working towards becoming better every day. And we all collaborate to find ways to become better. We do share ideas, we do share strategies, we do collaborate to make sure that we can move forward. So guys, thank you very much for spending your time and being with me here and spending time with everyone that's watching into this show. Take care, have a fantastic 2024, and I look forward to spending more time with you as we go forward.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay.
Thank you.
All right, could we take a quick 15-minute break and then come back? From 1 MDRT to over 1,000 MDRT in 2023. Today, I'm finally going to reveal some of the most significant changes that made my career have that exponential growth and how you can get started with it too. Wouldn't it be great if you had that new skill and that new market to bring you up inside 2024? A skill that gives you a competitive advantage over others in the market and allows you to start off with the high net worth market right away. After coaching more than over 1,000 top advisors globally, I realized what differentiates top advisors from the rest is their mastery of the art of closing big cases by entering the high net worth market. Certainly, there are multiple paths to enter the high net worth market and closing bigger cases, but after a decade of testing and figuring things out, I found that the most efficient and the impactful way to kickstart this journey is through asset structuring. That day, I realized, and it made that complete change that I wanted and the way I think. I used to believe that I had to start with moderately affluent clients and then gradually work my way up to be with the ultra rich. But I was wrong. In fact, I've seen many of my mentees start with high net worth clients right from the day one and never look back. And I want to show you how you can similarly start off from the top as well. Would you want to learn about asset structuring? If yes, click on the button below for more information.